This program is proudly brought to you by the paradise of the Zulu Kingdom, the South Coast. We bring you a weekend of board sports competition from Scottburgh on the beautiful KwaZulu-Natal South Coast. Both the open longboard competition and a kiteboarding contest that will see strong winds take the tricks and aerial section of this dynamic sport to new heights. With the wind pumping, we start off with the kiteboarders, who were eager to take advantage of the strong northeasterly that the weatherman had predicted the night before the start of the Jeep Mercury kiteboarding competition.
Great conditions, about 20-25 knots, probably going to pick up during the day. A little bit of a swell out there. You can see the boys are enjoying it right now, and I think it's going to be a good day. Conditions are good, nice and warm, another hot day in KZN.
The rulebook and guidelines set out in these strong winds and kite sizes determined for safety, the start of the big air competition was only minutes away. With the judges marking and scoring to specific criteria, contestants were ready to battle it out for podium positions over a 2-day, 3-section criteria competition. With a strong northeasterly blowing in to greet the contestants at 20 to 30 knots, the day would be ideal for big airs.
It's fun out there, wind's picking up. I think everyone's going to have a great day.
With the dominant wind, kite selection was key, with 8 to 12 meter foils making the judge's eye and the safety officer a little happier. Getting that balance between wind speed, canopy size and having complete control, where the high scores would be judged on airtime and landing.
We are busy with the King of the Air, which the guys are getting some really big air out there with a strong 30-knot wind. Guys are getting over 6 seconds at the moment.
With a strong KwaZulu-Natal component making up this competition, and with each competitor having knowledge of local wind conditions and wave selection, the day's action would be evenly spread amongst everybody taking part.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. Wind is treating me well. I only got a 12 up there, so it worked well for me. Okay, King of the Air is all about basically getting the biggest jump you can. The judges will then time you from when you leave the water till when you land again. And basically the longest time wins. I kite basically on my local beach in Toti, also Warner Beach.
With the wind picking up a few knots, everything had to be battened down, with kite changes and tests being made in the window before the heats. On this summer afternoon, the kiteboarders would be tested in conditions that would persist for 2 days. Rob Crystal in the pink vest making an early mark, going vertical off a hard to get minimum. This sponsored rider keeping his name amongst the top contenders for the day's big airs. Right, doing right in front of the judges. The technique of big airs is to get as high as you can and hold up in the wind for as long as you can to break that 6-second barrier, or even longer.
Yeah, beautiful. Nice kickers, nice little waves that you can jump off. Like you get your edge and you pop it. And yeah, it's just great up there.
Some of the top riders can spend as much as 13 seconds in the air in ideal conditions using a bigger kite. With the official siren getting round 2 off to a flying start in high winds, competitors were spending more time in the air, and and landing harder from heights that can cause injuries, as with Brett Davidson, who landed hard on his chest, hurting his ribcage.
Yeah, it's pretty much an awesome sport to do, so don't let this get you down. It's just this minor injury, but hopefully I'll be back out there quite soon. So my advice is come join the fun.
Mark Lambert would take the big air competition, with Gavin Spowart in second and Rob Crystal making up the podium count. And then on to the next component of the day with tricks, with a change in kites and tricky conditions as the direction of the wind varied from the backline to the shore break, with the bluff pinnacle making work hard in the shore break for the competitors. From the early days to the modern techniques, wave riding has become part of the style and complements the tricks. The sport of kiteboarding has developed in the 80s and 90s with new tricks. Now more surfers are coming across to the sport, and wave riding is making an impression with a new lineup of tricks. With the siren announcing the next heat, the kiteboard event would see the Masters, Open Men and a Novice category, bringing in a new breed of kiteboarder, the likes of Vincent Khumalo, Sipho Dlamini and Kerry Quinn. Top placing for the competition for the Open Men's in tricky conditions would see Jason Wright ahead of Mark Lambert and Gavin Spowart.
I'm putting up a small kite. It's pumping quite hard. I haven't flown my kite in a while, my small kite, so it's going to be interesting. There's some nice waves coming off there, so maybe do some wave riding, try to get a few big jumps off the waves, or just I'm going to try to do quite a bit of wake style moves. So we'll see.
Actually, I started as a car guard, learned to pump the car. Then after that, one day, boys, they grabbed me, put me in the water, just like that, magical.
And why do you love the sport now?
I love the sport because it's so exciting. And anyway, it's a good sport anyway. I like it. Actually, myself, I like handle passes, but it's quite difficult for me to do those style things because I'm sponsored by the Ocean 2 Air Boys or the kite, so I can't smash their kite. It's so expensive.
This new tide of enthusiastic kiteboarders started out as assistants on the beach before getting involved in the sport. And this accessibility and hands-on experience on the water's edge has given them the confidence and the thirst to take the sport on the local front to new heights. With sponsorship deals and permanent employment in the sport, many guys get the opportunity to do what they love best, kite all day long, through the training clinics for novice groups and tourists. Sipho Dlamini wiping out and crashing his kite in the strong winds, and with a bit of luck he will be able to relaunch his kite and continue and go and impress the judges. With the judges eyeing out a winner, it was difficult to separate the top three.
I win now. I think I'm first guy on overseas now. I have other competition with other guys now. I don't know which gonna be the first guy.
Manuel Santos from Mozambique walking away with the first place in the novice category, ahead of Vincent Khumalo and Douglas Pickard. In the ladies section of the competition, Kerry Quinn would be up against Lauren Santos and a fired-up Linda Potts.
I think the kitesurfing vibe is very, very good, especially in the Durban area. There's a lot of us that do kitesurf, and obviously to have something like this in one venue, because we obviously kite all over the place, and to be able to actually come together for a weekend, it's fantastic, and share moves and things like that, and stand on the beach and actually watch what the guys are doing. It's a great vibe. It's really, really worth actually coming down.
I'm a novice, my first one, and just going to give it my best. It's very relaxing. relaxed atmosphere down here at Happy Wanderers. Some of the sponsors, Jeep, Cyclone, some of the kiteboarding shops are really good to help out with that. But yeah, just really chilled and relaxed.
The Jeep Mercury South Coast Surf Carnival was a festival weekend where both kiteboarding and surfing components allow both top professional competitors and beginners to enjoy the same waters in a carnival atmosphere to promote the sport, the region, and fun outdoors. In the final standings for the weekend in the ladies' competition, Linda Potts taking top honours in the tough competition. Into the men's Masters Tricks competition with local Durban riders Alvain van Breda, Bruce Crystal, Gavin Spart and Brett Pengeli making up some of the Masters classes in this Tricks division of the competition. Points again for the difficulty of the manoeuvre and technical accomplishment and the style and speed with which the trick is performed.
Got your older experienced guys like Gavin, Brett Pengeli, and there's some really good kiters, so it should be a lot of action today.
And plenty of action there was, with Jason Wright pushing Bruce for a top place on the podium. Bruce Crystal doing a big turn in a move that sports strong surfing technical components, crossing over into the sport, where the development of boards in more of a surfing style, bringing in maneuverability onto the wall of the wave. With the winds changing at the shore break, the competitors were utilising every inch of the water to turn and charge back out in the time frame allowed to build the highest score. Gavin Spart with a reverse kite loop. Bruce Crystal doing a reverse rotation off a nice little wave, enough to get a mention, but not enough in the semi-finals to earn a podium position. Gavin Spart coming into the shore break and up onto the beach after a hard afternoon's work to check out the final placings in this category. Gavin competing in both the men's open and masters event, waiting for the judges' final points tally. In the end, the master of the wind and waves going to Brett Pengeli ahead of Jason Wright and Gavin Spart. We now join the other board riders a little further up the beach at Scottburgh's main beach for the Jeep Mercury longboard competition that has brought this sleepy little beachside town some colour, tourists and world-class surfers, and a new component to harness the wind that comes in all shapes and sizes.
We came down for this carnival, the beach carnival, just to put on a display of kites so that people can see what type of kites there are and just expose people more to kite flying as a sport.
With ideal beaches and good wind, the public were shown just how creative kite flying could be, where the only limit is your imagination and budget for material.
For 2006, we've gone 2 steps further, and that's by introducing Development Surfing Clinic, which was excellently attended. We had over 42 black surfers from Port Edward all the way to Scottburgh.
And with the larger boards and hands-on tuition, the carnival has ignited the inspiration on the South Coast to make surfing accessible to the rural youth who may not have been able to travel to the bigger cities in the past to watch and be part of urban festivals.
South Coast Surf Carnival started as a kitesurfing event in 2003, where we had the first event at Kelso Beach, and in 2004 we moved it over to Scottburgh, and in 2006 this is what you get today. It's become probably one of the biggest, it's the biggest longboarding event in South Africa. It's definitely the biggest kitesurfing event in South Africa. We were hired by Umdoni Tourism, and although the event, we created the event, they asked us to come up with a concept that would help tourism out of season. So October generally in South Africa is a slower month, and so we thought, October was the month, and as you can see by all the crowds on the beach, it's growing every year. We made the right call. I'd also take this opportunity to thank Jeep and Mercury as our presenting sponsors, and all the other sponsors. There's 15 of them, so I won't name them all, but without you guys, it wouldn't be happening. So thank you very much from Nerve Events.
The longboard event over the weekend would be made up of a number of categories, from the open men's to masters, with a strong run coming in from the ladies, with shortboard all-star Tasha Mentasti adding a celebrity presence. Opening with round one of this two-day event, the country's top longboard specialists would be tested in tricky conditions, and a wind that would assist kiteboarders but would make conditions on a longboard a lot more difficult.
Well, got the Jeep Mercury longboard contest. It's going down. Some good surfers from all over the country. Dylan McLeod, SA champ at the moment, Michael Grendon, last year's champ at this contest, so it's pretty interesting. No west today, but there's still a couple fun little waves. There's a fun little bowl. The inside's pretty fun. If you get the right one, it runs all the way to the beach, so yeah.
With Brandon Ribbink, Craig Daniel and Dylan McLeod making up some of the top riders in the competition, the field would see Michael Grendon and Matt Kruger trying to make their mark with the right wave selection in tough conditions. With a full complement of activities available for the public, it was up to the surfers to go out there and earn some points, even if it meant taking on the waves head on.
Okay, it's day two and conditions have actually improved a little bit. The northeast isn't blowing as strong as it was. The point is actually holding its shape quite nicely. There's the odd surfable wave around. In my particular heat, I've got Tasha Mentasti, who is a shortboarder coming in for her first contest in longboarding. And she's someone to look out for the future. She says that she's going to start taking up longboarding more seriously. So it's good for longboarding to have someone like that coming through. There's Nikki Trickett, who just had a baby last year. She's on the comeback trail and she's always a bit of a threat in the water. And the other one is Zany Kaywood, also an up-and-coming surfer. So it's all the youngsters and then me.
We take you straight into the ladies' final, where Lisa Smith, Zany Kaywood, Nikki Trickett and Tasha Mentasti would be contesting the top spot. Wave selection would be vital. Low point-scoring waves would mean taking off and performing early on in the ride to get the maximum points on the longer board. In the tricky conditions, Lisa Smith made the best of it. With better wave selection, she managed to take first place ahead of professional shortboard star Tasha, with Zany Kaywood taking third overall. With official scores and some awesome pictures available in the Mercury, the Jeep Mercury South Coast Surf Carnival was highlighted in print and right here on your channel of champions. The Masters competition would include living surfing legend Mike Lamont.
You know, what's been amazing about this event is, first off, getting Jeep involved. You know, they're for a non-surf brand, they've really stuck and supported longboarding, and then getting this media involved with the Mercury has given it another different leg. But you know, the organisers have put together an event that's amazing. You know, the support has been coming from all around the country on the surfing side. And yesterday, even though it was very difficult with the onshore, I mean, it was absolutely paradise for the kiteboarders. In the senior men's, that's a little bit more relaxed. You know, the kind of older blokes, and they're not as intense, they're not as extreme about trying to hustle waves and trying to put themselves in the position. So that's kind of more relaxing.
We start with the senior men's semi-finals, where many of the board riders found the wave easier to approach off the rocks in Scottburgh, where it is easier to paddle across into the oncoming swell. With conditions tricky and wave selection vital, the longer boards would be more difficult to maneuver in these conditions. The top competitors in today's semi would take honours if they found the right wave and worked it to the full. Mike Lamont showing the timeless class that has made him a household name in the surfing industry with an easy, confident approach at the end of the competition, pulling off hang fives and some classic bottom turns on the small waves.
In fourth place was Dave Hedlow. Third place, Mike Culpepper, and the 2006 South Coast Surf Carnival Senior Men Champion was Mike Lamont from Ati van der Pas.
The Masters would be split into two semi-final heats, with the likes of Craig Daniel, Mike Boone and Grant Gilmore making up the first of the semis. The second Masters semi-final would see Colin Whitmore against Mark van Straten and Brendan Callahan, with a hang five adding extra points in the mid-break. And with the local beach packed, the Masters final had Daniel, Boone, Callahan and Whitmore working on an improved and glossy wave, trying to test each other to take top spot.
Third place, Mr. Moiko Bun from England. And the 2006 Masters champion, Colin Whitmore over Craig Daniel. Well done.
So well done to Colin for making the best of the conditions to become the Jeep Mercury South Coast Surf Carnival Longboard Masters champ for 2006.
We're hoping for a west to come through. The east has backed off. Clean conditions, good swell running here, and a lot of paddling. You know, onshore is always difficult, but if you do a little bit of work out there, there are good waves to be had. And yeah, we had fun in the first quarter. Well, I was the fourth quarter final of the day.
The Open Men's Semi number 1, where Brandon Ribbing would take on Grant Gilmore, Michael Grendon and Mike Lamont, giving the youngsters a taste of some classic longboard surfing. This is Brandon Ribbing working this wave to the full.
The year's been awesome. Winning the SAs that opened up doors for me to go overseas to Huntington Beach, compete in the US Open, to compete in the World Championships to Costa Rica, and opened the door for me to get married as well. It's been awesome. As soon as I won the contest, Jeep approached me and gave me a sponsorship, and they've opened the doors for me to go to the States for me to afford it. It's been awesome.
In the second of the semis, Craig Daniel, Brandon Jackson and Dylan McLeod battle it out for a place in the finals, where the finals would see Dylan McLeod take on Ribbing, Gilmore and Daniel.
Third place, Craig Daniel. And the 2006 South Coast Surf Carnival Open Men's Champion is Dylan McLeod from PE over Brandon Ribbink. Well done.
Well, that's it, folks. From the surfing, kiteboarding, kite flying, and a whole lot of fun down at the folks in the Umdoni district of the beautiful KwaZulu-Natal South Coast. Hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, get out there and join in the fun. This program was proudly brought to you by the beautiful South Coast, paradise of the Zulu Kingdom.